I'm just going to let you know up front. The Famicom version of Bucky O'Hare is cheaper than the NES version, but not by that much. In fact, a copy of the Famicom version these days will run you over 10,000 yen, making it another member of the 10,000 yen club. And if you're collecting Famicom, January 31st, 1992 is a pretty expensive day, but not the most expensive. Bucky O'Hare started out as a comic character created by writer and MASH guest star Larry Hama and artist Michael Golden. They created the Rabbit Space Captain and his crew back in the late 70s, but it took a few years before they found a publisher for their comic. And then the comic didn't sell. But in the early 90s, everyone was looking for the next Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. And so Bucky O'Hare was dusted off, and they tried to franchise the hell out of it. They made a cartoon, a toy line, and of course a video game. And all of those bombed too, because in the early 90s, you couldn't swing a dead cat without hitting 3 anthropomorphic animal adventurers. But Bucky O'Hare has maintained a bit of a cult following over the years. And perhaps part of that is due to having a really good video game based on it. The video game was designed and programmed by Masato Maagawa. Immediately after this game was out the door, he quit Konami and started his own video game company, Treasure. So the game has a bit of a pedigree. The plot of the game is that while on a mission, Bucky's ship is shot down and his crew is scattered. So his first goal is to travel to 4 different worlds and rescue his crew. And then after completing that, they're captured by their arch-enemies, the Toads, and are once again split up, and you have to gather them once more. Bucky O'Hare is an absolutely enormous game. Now I'm not especially good at it, but it takes me about 2 hours to complete the whole thing. Fortunately, it's very generous with the continues, as you have an infinite number of them, plus it puts you right back at the section you died at. The game is a side-scrolling run-and-gun, and as you'd expect, A jumps and B shoots. The other thing you can do is fire up by pressing in that direction, or fire below you, but you have to be jumping when you hit down and shoot. And once you've rescued a crewmate, you can hit select to rotate through those. You can also hold down B to build up the power bar at the bottom of the screen, and releasing it will use that crew member's special ability. Bucky's a pretty good choice to use overall, even though he's the one you start with. His shot is reasonably powerful, and his special ability is that he can jump very high. The more meter you build up, the higher he goes. Deadeye's gun has a 3-way shot, but the range is kind of limited. His special ability is to climb walls, which I couldn't really show off because there were no walls on the stage after I got him. Blinky's shots arc downward, but it's the only weapon that can destroy blocks, and so it's absolutely required for certain areas of the game. His special ability is a jetpack that shoots him upward at an angle. Jenny fires a beam straight out ahead of her, and her special ability is a ball of psionic energy that you can steer with the D-pad. It can be very powerful, but it goes away if it runs into anything solid, and if she's hit while charging it up, it doesn't work. Willie has the strongest blaster in the game, and his special ability is to charge it up to make it even stronger. There's a few things you can pick up as you explore the stages. They'll look like coins that are rotating. The blank ones are just a few thousand points, and 1-ups are what you'd expect. The other 2 are much more important. P coins extend the length of your power bar, making your super move even more effective. It only extends the power bar for the character who's active though, so you'll want to swap around who's getting those. The L's extend and refill your life bar. If you get a game over and have to continue, you lose all of the life bar extensions, but you keep all of the power bar extensions. And the power bar extensions even carry over to the password system. Continue with a password and you're back to the world selection screen, but you'll still have your big power bar. The worlds of Bucky O'Hare are broken up into acts, and there are 10 acts per world. While some of the acts are pretty short, most of them are a unique challenge that goes on for quite a while. Bucky O'Hare is a game that throws every single trick in the platformer's toolbox at you. Giant crushing obstacles? Check. Deadly flowing substances you have to outrun? Oh, you betcha. Jumping on tiny platforms in space? Of course. At the end of every world there's a boss, and these vary quite a bit in difficulty. Like, this guy will kill you in one hit until you figure out what to do. You have to run up and duck right in front of him, but not too close. You can continue from the boss if you get a game over, but you'll lose your life bar extensions, and you might actually need those. If for some reason you find the game to be too easy, and you really shouldn't, you can enter the password HARD and then an exclamation point to enable a mode where any hit will kill you. It was created as an anti-piracy measure, but now it's played as a challenge mode. Bucky O'Hare is considered to be one of the great Famicom games in Japan, and that's despite the cartoon never airing there, and less than 10,000 copies of the game being sold. And yeah, this is an amazing game, front to back. Okay, maybe not quite the back because the last boss is a bit of a letdown, but front to penultimate at least. It's like this is the ultimate expression of the 8-bit action game. The complete package. And even though it's incredibly hard, it's not unreasonable to beat it given the unlimited continues. Bucky O'Hare is just an amazing game, and one that shouldn't be missed.